Our ranks have grown, our skills have sharpened, and our weapons are loaded.
With the Aftermath expansion, World War Z is a much different game than when it debuted in 2019, and overwhelmingly for the better. With more episodes to rampage through, a greater selection of playable classes, and dozens of major quality of life improvements, there's a lot to love about it these days. That said, with ongoing online issues, forgettable stories, and some gameplay growing pains, it still has plenty of room to grow. One of the more noteworthy things Aftermath adds is 2 excellent new campaigns that take you to reclaim Vatican City and Rome and to the utterly dismal wastes of Kamchatka, Russia. As with previous episodes, these episodes are challenging, heart-pounding nightmare scenarios that pit you and up to 3 co-op buddies against literally thousands of zombies while setting traps, managing resources like medkits and grenades, and trying desperately not to blow yourself up by firing a rocket launcher at point-blank range. Rome is the more by the numbers of the two. It takes a well-known destination, gives it whatever the opposite of a facelift is, and then lets you and your friends blast your way through it for a laugh. Aside from the new sight sounds and giant flaming pits filled with zombies though, there isn't much to distinguish Italy from other destinations. The frozen tundra of Kamchatka, on the other hand, has some really memorable moments, like one area where a blizzard causes you to take damage just for being outside for short periods, so you've got to race between heaters while fighting off waves of brain eaters.
I'm reloading! Take down the bull!
There's also some great puzzle sections that require teamwork, like one where your crew has to use a flamethrower to melt doors that have been frozen shut while the others provide cover fire.
Door's clear.
Compared to the fairly straightforward design of Rome, it was really nice seeing the developers have some over-the-top fun with Russia. Even when the new episodes are interesting though, Aftermath still disappoints with its storytelling. Precisely 0 characters are fleshed out in any way, and their dialogue is campy and mostly serves as background noise while you run around and shoot things. I'm all for some mindless fun, and World War Z has that in spades. But telling actual stories in the style of Left 4 Dead would make the world feel more like something worth saving. My personal favorite addition in Aftermath, though, is the optional first-person mode, which breathes new life into every aspect of World War Z. Getting up close and personal with the flesh parades you square off against adds a whole new level of panic from behind the eyes of your character. As an FPS fan, I felt right at home taking on the horrors of the apocalypse this way, and it gave me another reason to go back and replay World War Z's older episodes. The caveat here is that, for whatever reason, aiming down the sights of your weapon has been curiously left out of the first-person mode. Lots of guns have scopes, but instead of looking down them, you look down the side of the weapon, which feels very odd, clunky, and downright unsatisfying. It's especially weird since ADS already existed in World War Z on some weapons like the sniper rifle. For all the added immersion the first-person perspective gave me, I was pulled right out of it again when I found myself looking past my scope during combat. It's right there! Use the scope, my dude! Aftermath also adds some welcome changes to the sandbox in the form of an 8th character class called the Vanguard and some new melee weapon options, both of which succeed at evolving the close-ranged combat. As the name implies, the Vanguard is all about getting up in the enemy's faces and comes equipped with an electric shield that you can use to charge through dozens of zombies or block pathways by turning yourself into a human barricade. It takes a bit of skill to get the hang of, as I learned from my many ill-advised dives into piles of zombies, but mastering it is a lot of fun and can be invaluable in keeping your team alive. The new melee options further improve the variety and viability of close-range combat, which previously was only used by those with a nagging death wish. Now featuring dual-wielding weapons like the sickles and heavy weapons like the sledgehammer, the melee system has been completely revamped, with a perk system that helps you flesh out your playstyle. Using the sickles, for example, allows you to attack faster and less lethally than with other melee weapons, but has a perk that heals your character when you get killing sprees. One major disappointment is that the online experience in World War Z is still extremely rocky in Aftermath. I was lucky to have a group of friends to play with most times, and although loading into levels and keeping a stable connection can be rough on occasion, it's still mostly serviceable when you bring your own team. But if you're hoping to matchmake with others, things go from workable to painfully broken. You should expect extremely long wait times to get matched up with others, or sometimes just waiting in the lobby infinitely. The alternative to this is to play completely solo with AI, but this is an equally bad time because the AI's not great. So you're left to choose between the lesser of two evils. So bring your own friends, or be prepared for a headache.
Stairs are f***ed. Any other ideas?
Aftermath evolves World War Z in some major ways that brought a smile to my face. Kamchatka is a stellar new episode, and the improved melee options and first-person mode are great quality-of-life improvements. But there are still issues with online play, barely any attempt at storytelling, and bizarre design choices, such as a lack of aiming down sights in first-person mode, that are huge disappointments. Even so, blasting my way through countless zombies still has lasting charm, and Aftermath makes World War Z better than it has ever been.
Today we claw back from the brink. Today, we make a stand.
If you're interested in more shooting of bad guys as well as hoops, check out our reviews of Deathloop and NBA 2K22. And for everything else, stick with IGN.